Hello, welcome to the channel. Been a long winter. We got a nice day here in upstate New York. Doing a little bit of shop work here. I'll show you what we got going on. We're going to work on this motor grader attachment. Stay tuned. All right, so here's what we got here. We're in the shop here. We got the 236B. Obviously, it'd be nice with this motor grader attachment as a track vehicle. I don't have one, but got this here. Landowner motor grader. It runs off an auxiliary hydraulics right here, and then it has a valve bank up here. Now, ideally, the machine would have a plug in here where it could plug in and I could run this right off my joystick controls, but I don't. This machine does not have that. To add the harness, plus I'd have to add another joystick with dual remotes on it. Just not going to be worth it. So what we did last fall when I got this out is I built this little switch box, and basically it was just up, down, or up, down on one cylinder there. And I actually broke off the rotate bottom, broke that off. But yeah, so each solenoid had its own function. Excite this solenoid and it would excite this side here, up, down, whatever. I bought a Harley rake and I wired them both up on a 7-pin trailer plug-in, and then this one here was a truck part where they had a long cable on it, so I could just go between attachments and just plug and unplug as needed. Because ideally, I just ran it through the cab because obviously I'm not going to be raising this up way up in the air. So plan moving forward with this, we are going to wire this up in the machine so that I don't have this box kicking around inside the cab. Plus, I think it's going to be way handier to operate this way. So here's what the plan is here. Take you inside here. I got the other day I kind of mocked these up already. So what we got is, I know it's not super handy, but I've got up, down, which is going to be my right-hand side right there, right here on this toggle switch here. So up, down. This is going to be up, down on the left-hand side. And then my angle side to side, I put it right above my light switch. So it'll angle side to side there, right, left. Okay, so, no, I know it's not ideal, but obviously you're not going to be running this remote while you're trying to grade because you set the machine where it needs to be. You're going to need this hand to drive with, so ultimately I can just lay my arm up here and operate it here. So that's kind of what the plan is going to be. It's a pretty efficient little motor grader. Dirt Perfect's got one. He actually wired his up to a joystick in here to run it like a dozer blade. My brain doesn't work that way. If I look at a motor grader, I want to run it like a motor grader. I want to be able to move each side individually. So that's the way I'm going to wire it up here. We're going to have to tear apart this, which I've already taken this off. You got to take 2 bolts out in here, 3 bolts out in the front, and then you take the back side off, and then that's where this cluster went in. These were just blanks that were in there. Similar to over here, these were blanks that I just popped out. So, like I said, first thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the auxiliary hydraulics, and I'm going to identify which wires I hooked into that so that when I come through the harness that those wires are the same. So let's get it started. Oh man, that thing's got pressure on it. Yeah, not nice. Now, can you go in there and cycle those hydraulics for me? Or on the other side, please. Yeah, when we unhooked this last, they had pressure on it, so he's not going to start the machine. He's just going to turn the machine on and then cycle that control. And hopefully, go ahead and cycle it. That's not going to work. All right, plan B, I got to cycle the whole hydraulics in the unit. Okay, we did get the pressure relieved. What a pain in the butt. We got it off the ground. Dominic's gonna turn the auxiliary hydraulics on. Now, this is one thing, I mean, I know I'm a big Caterpillar man, but we have a Bobcat at work and we can't do that with this here. But in case you didn't know, and I got this from Garrett Wilson, he's the one that told me it. You can turn the auxiliary hydraulics on just crack that valve a little bit and then hit your continuous flow. And you can just put the very bare minimal hydraulic. Now that's not going to take power away from your arms or anything else. It's just going to run that, and it's going to make these controls work a lot smoother. So he's going to show you how he does that in here. I'm going to video it so he can show you, and then we're going to go through and we're going to identify what wires do what. So go ahead.
Want to set the parking brake? Crack it a little bit. Let's air continuous flow.
Alright, so
it should be good.
As you can see, it's not even doing much here. So we're gonna go ahead and identify these wires, see which wires do what. Okay, so to document what wires do what, I've got the color codes here. Got a positive wire. I'm gonna jump here, and I got my ground hooked to my battery. And we should see some stuff moving here when I make contacts. Okay, we already know that the blue wire is ground. We'll get rid of this wire here. That was my jumper. So yellow, right down. Is that right side down? Yellow is right side down. Okay, we'll try red. Right is swing right. Red, swing right. We'll go around the house here, green. Right side up. Brown. How's that doing up? What? Oh, brown should be doing something. White, left side. Black, left side down. Now brown should be, oh,
Brown should be left side up. There it goes.
up. Brown's up. All right, so we got all of our wires traced apart. We know which ones are there. We're gonna go ahead and tear our top panel apart, get in there, access some switches, and we're gonna get some wires soldered up here. Okay, here we go. So I got a little bit of a rat's nest up here. But so here's what we got. We got a hot wire out of the harness coming down to this switch down here with a wire that comes up. And it jumpers into this one, which feeds power to this one. And then I have an external one here in case I want to try to wire up that float later, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it now. But as long as I was putting these connectors together, I put that in there and taped it up. So in theory, now if I turn my switch on, and I'm going to probably need Dominic's hands here, and he throws, there you go, let him run the camera. So in theory here, so if we rock this toggle switch, we should have power there, which we do. So if I rock this toggle switch there, that comes on. Okay, down at the bottom, that one comes on. Whoops. Comes on. Whoops. That one comes on, then we'll do our side shift here. Yep, and the other way. Oops. So, good. So, like I said, all I've got to do now is bring my wire harness up through, wire my connectors. Oops, yeah, thank you. Wire my connectors that go to my motor grader up in, and then put power to those. And then, of course, this is my ground here. I found my ground up in that harness. The ground's going to go straight out into that new harness out there. And it should be good. Even the little lights lit up when I was powering them, so that was cool. You know, they don't do it right now, but they will when you're using them. So, yeah, I think it's going to work out good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and see if this thing works. As you can see, it is dark outside. Everything's wired up on top here. Our toggle switches are running. We got our ground running. Connectors connected down there. I'm going to fire this thing up, and we're going to see if it works. Okay, day 2 got a little bit late last night, but we left off, we tested everything. Everything works fine. So just food for thought. So I was telling you about the comparisons. I thought we could put a float, have this thing sort of float, because on my skid steer at work when I had it hooked up, when you had in the continuous flow, it would allow the fluid to flow back here, so you could just activate 2 solenoids there and it would float. Fortunately, this one doesn't do that, so I'm going to take the float switch out that I was going to make. So, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and put this panel back together. We're going to run our wire down through, get everything tuned up, and test this thing. All right, she's all together, and let's give her a try and see how it works. I'll tell you, I'm pretty happy with it. It works pretty good. You can't beat this 236B. It's a pushing booger. Windrow's material good. Obviously, I mean, not an ideal position to be operating in with your arms up like that, but I'll tell you, it's light years in front of that other box that we were using. Super stoked with it. I got a couple jobs lined out. I'm going to do some driveways with it, so I'm pretty hopeful it's going to work well. Thanks for watching. Remember to please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.